right, you guys. Hi, I can see lots of people are here already. I see Joey and Kathy Ann and Grammy and Out of Control Mason. Don't believe we've met before. Hello, everyone, and Ann Nugent. Good evening from Scotland. Hello. I, I'd love to go to Scotland. It's like my dream. So, and Chris and Patricia. Wow, you guys, happy Wednesday. It is Wednesday. The week is going really well for me. I don't know how it's going for you, but I've had a good week. Like I said, I wanted to talk today about ease, which we'll get into in a minute. But I just want to say that if you're new here or you're watching this on replay, just go ahead and feel free to ask a question. If it's on replay, you can add a question to the comments, and I'll see it as I'm, monitoring the comments on my site. And I'll be happy to answer anything for you that I can. And Dorothy's Daughter, in case you don't know, is a sewing vlog. And basically I do sewing tutorials, reviews, product and pattern reviews, tutorials. I try to emphasize fit a lot of times, which we're going to talk a little more about that today. And yeah, anything related to sewing. So welcome, welcome. All right, now that that's over with. Oh, and if you want to subscribe, hit that subscribe button down below and give us a thumbs up so we come up more often in your feed. All right, so I'm surprised at how much people don't think about ease. Rewind quickly back to me at about 17, and I'd been sewing for a while, but always with patterns. I never tried anything, remotely like a hack or, a self draft or anything. Well, I decided to try my hand at it, and I made it to the exact measurements, and I was so proud of myself, to my exact measurements. And of course, I went to put it on, and it would have been fine if I kept my arms like this all day and didn't try to sit down, and because it basically was just the measurement of my body and nothing else. And so I wanted to talk about the differences between wearing ease and styling ease, and how much should you put in there, and what parts of the body do you absolutely need it. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. I might be preaching to the choir. It might be review for a lot of you. I'm sure it probably is, but I don't know. It's always good to revisit because I think you just get reminded of it. So all right, so if you have a question, it doesn't matter if it's pertaining to ease or not, you can still ask it. But I would ask, just so I can find them more easily, is put a Q in front of it, and I will hopefully see it a little quicker. And if you guys see a question that flies by me, please draw my attention to it so I can get it answered. I don't have anybody monitoring the screen for me, so I have to rely on looking down at it, and it'd be real easy to miss. So definitely just give me a holler if I miss something. So you guys are all pretty good about that, so that's great. All right, so the differences between wearing ease and styling ease. So wearing ease is like the absolute minimum that you want to have in order to wear that garment. Enough to sit down, enough to raise your arm up, enough that your buttons don't pop open, those kind of things. That's the minimum, the wearing ease. All right, and that's going to be different for every garment. And it's also, can I say, that's different for everybody, because everybody has sort of their sweet spot of ease that they like. And for some people like things tighter, and some people, would rather have room. So it's just kind of up to you. Style ease is different. Style ease is when you've built in ease because you want gathers or you want something to be flowy. Example of that would be like palazzo pants, different things like that. So that's style ease. So if you're going to hack a pattern, let's say you're going to Oh, I almost mentioned something that you haven't seen yet, so I can't do that. Okay. Let's say you want to add pleats to a skirt. Okay, so let's just say you want to add, some box pleats to the front of a skirt. Well, you're going to have to add on however much to the wearing ease. You're going to have to add on however much it takes to create those pleats. So you have to do the math. There's no way around it. And then account for the amount of folded fabric to create the pleats. So you have to kind of know what your wearing ease is in order to add the style ease. Another example would be wanting something to be maybe fitted up here and flowy at the bottom. You're going to want to use your wearing ease up here, and then starting at the waist, you can add in your volume of style ease that you want. So that's kind of, and I'm really surprised at how many people kind of don't understand that because a lot of people, well, I measured myself, but you didn't add the ease in. So please feel free to jump in here because I know you guys probably know as much about it as I do, if not more. But please jump in if you have a question or you want to give an example of your own to help me get the point across, because there are beginners who visit the channel and participate in the chats. And like I said, it's a good reminder for all of us. I have fallen back into that trap once in a while of, oh, I don't need that much. And then, I have the tight arms or, usually for me it's arms. I'll admit, I have flabby arms. My grandkids get a kick out of me making it shake, which I'm not going to do on camera. But anyway, so you guys aren't very talkative today. Oh, wait a minute. I just didn't scroll down enough. No sound. Uh-oh. Am I muted? Oh, no, 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 no. I'm not muted. Let me turn it up. Is that better? Okay. Hi, Diana. Nice to see you. Ooh, you're on vacation in Mexico. Well, then I said hola just for you, right? Can you guys hear me? Because it said, are you muted? And I just want to make sure that I wasn't. I did it with the volume was maybe down a little bit more than it usually is. So can you hear now? Can you hear me now? All right. Shake your wings. Yeah, I know. My little redheaded grandson, you guys have all seen him in pictures. He's like, oh, Grammy, do that thing with your arms. I'm like, no. He makes me jiggle. He laughs. Oh my gosh, the kids are so funny. They think it's cool while we think it's, right? But anyway, so let's talk about bust. So these numbers are going to vary between a knit and a woven. Generally, a knit is not going to need quite as much. So these numbers I'm giving you are for woven. So with knits, you can always go down almost about a size of ease at least. But for the bust line, I'm talking wearable ease now, not style ease, you're going to want 2 to 4 inches. So, that's enough that you can button your shirt without it popping open. And here's where your full bust adjustments come in to make sure that you have that room that you need. Or here's where your small bust adjustments come in to make sure that it's not too baggy. And in the waist, you need at least 1.5 or 1 to 1.5. This chart I read said 1 to 1.5. I really think it's closer to 1.5. Excuse me very much. 1.5 to 2. I have hiccups today. On your hips, you're going to want 2 to 4 inches. And that's a good ballpark for that. And like I said, it'll come down. The amount of ease comes down the more stretchy the fabric is. But still, it could be very close fitting if you get it. You still don't want it. They do call for negative ease once in a while, but not generally unless you want a tight fitting or a swimsuit or something like that. Mandy Boatneck, okay. All right. The Mandy boat neck and the style includes a lot of these. Yeah, it does. I've made that one. Trying to add maybe just an inch total across the smaller size rather than to try to adjust the next size. Yeah, that should work. As long as it fits everywhere else, you'll be fine. Um, yeah, a lot of times when you do the full bust adjustment too, you add ease all the way down. So you have to take that into account as well. Gail says, hello, Gail. You're not that late. Only tiny bit. I was actually started maybe 30 seconds early. So, my bad. I ran into a chart on McCall's website that shows you the ease for different ways that you'd like to have something fit. For the close fitting, it's going to be like 0 to 2 and 7/8 in the top, in the bust, and that's for like dresses and tops. You wouldn't make a coat or a jacket close fitting, so that's why it's not included there. And fitted, now that not close fitting, but fitted, this would be like your Aria shirt, button down type thing. That's 3 to 4 inches. So see, they even give you a little more than what the other source gave. Semi-fitted 4 to 5. Loose fitting, you want 5 to 8, depending on, how much ease, and you might not want the same amount in the chest as you do in the waist, or vice versa. Very loose fitting, over 8 inches. And when it gets to the hip area, semi-fitted is probably where most of us want to land with our pants. 2 to 3 inches, either fitted or semi-fitted, I think, is where we tend to land. Or unless they're palazzo pants, then we might land on the 4 to 6 inch, or over 6, really loose fitting. So yeah, I think it's super super good to know these in your head of what you like, because everybody likes a different amount of ease. And the way that you do that is just by sewing a lot, and then pay attention. Okay, when this fit me and I really liked it, how much ease did this pattern have? And on some patterns, you can look and see what the finished measurements are supposed to be, and you can figure out the designer added this much ease into the pattern, and then kind of what the intended fit would be. So that's one thing that you can do with some patterns. The big four are notoriously bad about that. They are, you're lucky if you get a bust measurement out of them. They just aren't good about it. Maybe some of them are better now, but it's been a while since I've sewn a big four, I'll be honest. I like the independent designers a whole lot better. But my experience has been that they don't have very many finished measurements included on the envelope. Unless you let me know if you've sewn one recently, if they were available to you or not. But the independent designers tend to have them, or at least more information on their pattern envelopes or in their files. So here's an example, and I got permission to show this from the Classic Tee by Love Notions, where it shows what your measurements would be, and it shows then what the finished garment would be for that size. So you can subtract the measurement from the finished size, and you'll know how much ease was intended there. And so that'll give you a really exact way to fit if you measure your bust and it's 39. All right, so then you go, I'm going to make an extra large. All right, so in order to do that, you're going to go along. I'm going to make a large, but because it's a knit, instead of going down from 40, I'm going to go up from 38. I'm sorry, I'm not making any sense, but I'm going to go down from 40 instead of up from 37. That's what I'm going to do. But anyway, if you go down then to the finished measurements, and you can see, okay, so on a size large, for example, it goes from 40 to 41. So that's for the standard bust. So it's intended to have an inch of ease. So then you know exactly what you need to do. So basically for the full bust, they've added another 1.5 inches to the bust measurement. And actually on Love Notions patterns, that really proceeds all the way down the body then. So just something to keep in mind. Hi, Mary Alice. Glad to see you. Very nice. So anyway, that gives you an idea of what you can do. And I really, really like that they have the bicep measurements here. My bicep measures, 14 to 15, and even when I lose weight, it stays up there. So, I'd be making, like right now, I'm making usually a large full bust, sometimes an extra large, depending. And when I do that, a lot of times for example, the bicep measurement there is supposed to be 12.12, and my bicep measurement is 13, even though. So I'm going to need to probably do a full bicep adjustment if I make a straight large. So that's just something that is a good way to just kind of double check yourself. If you've decided how much ease you want, you can just see if you're in the ballpark, if that's the way that the designer intended it to fit. Unless you're hacking it and making it your own, that's different, but it gives you an idea of what to do with ease. Thank you, Ivy. Hello to you, and hello, Nikki. 8 Little Stitches is Ivy, and she's also an admin on our Facebook group. She just kind of is a good friend and helps me out, which I super appreciate. She's wonderful. So anyway, that's hopefully will help some of you. I know it's, like I said, excuse me, my hiccups are really bad this afternoon. I hope that helps, and I'm sure most of you already knew this, but just in case, I don't want to assume everybody knows things. So please don't think I'm talking down to you, but there are some people who maybe never heard about it before, because I sewed for years before I realized that was a thing. Because I just opened the pattern envelope and sewed what was there. I never really tried to do any adjustments to anything until I was a teenager, because I started sewing when I was 5. So, I never really knew that ease was a thing. And so if you taught yourself to sew, you may not realize that. Or you may be able to teach me a lot about it, so, which is true. So, yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there and let you know. One thing I like to do to know if I have enough ease is if I'm making a muslin, I always do a sit test. Sit down in the garment and make sure that if it's a skirt, it doesn't rise up too much, because then it's too small in the thighs. Or if it's pants, make sure that you can sit without it coming all the way down in the back and all that. So you should always try to sit down in your garments, in your muslins, so that you know whether or not you need to make any adjustments. And then just a note about, and this is a short topic because we can just chat and answer questions from here, but negative ease is also something that is included in some knit patterns. If they're nice, tight-fitting things, like bodycon dresses, excuse me, Patterns for Pirates has some dresses like that that are meant to be super fitted, and I think that the bodycon dresses are like that, and then they're going to give you negative ease. Also, swimsuits have negative ease. I think maybe some of the underwear patterns might as well. So just a heads up if you notice that the pattern isn't measuring as much as you are around, and it's a stretch fabric. It may just be that they included negative ease to make it close fitting. So yeah, I totally agree with you, Mary Alice. I'm not a fan of Big Four anymore. It's all I did for many, many years, but they just don't give you as much information. And I'd rather tape together patterns, which I don't have to usually, but if, in case it doesn't have a projector file, or like right now, my projector's up there, but I need another person to help me calibrate it. So I just, I've had my kids here doing things, but there's so many things to do in my house that I just haven't asked them about that yet. So I'm printing and taping right now, and it's easier than cutting apart those stupid tissue papers and then trying to fold it back and put it in the same envelope, which never works ever. So yeah, I'm sort of done. I mean, not just for those two reasons, but I just don't think that they are made with the real women in mind a lot of times. So I don't think that they fit real women. I don't think that they test them like our independent testers do. I don't know if you realize this, but many of you do, because many of you are also testers like I am. But the independent designers, they will have at least one person in every size make the garment to make sure it's actually fitting real people. And in just a plug for that is that you learn so much when you test. I've learned a lot about fit. I've learned a lot about my own body from testing, and things that I thought were true ended up sometimes not being true because it's seen from another person's perspective, and then you go, yeah, maybe I should have been doing that. So testing is great because you get feedback, and you actually keep doing what you have to do until you get it fitting, and it's a great way to learn. And most do not pay, but the experience of doing it is great, and you will walk out with knowledge. And if you happen to be a blogger or anything, you can kind of plug your site when you do that as well. So yes, me too. The layers thing is nice. Except then you've seen me, I print them all out a lot of times, just because I'm on my iPad and you can't turn the other layers off on an iPad. But they should really fix that on iPads. I mean, they've come so far with them being able to do so many things. Why can't they turn layers off in Acrobat? I don't understand. But anyway, but and then also, if I'm not sure, something I was fitting recently, my knees are large because I've had, of my injury that I had. I totally severed my quad tendon, and so it's just bigger. It doesn't hurt anymore. It's weak, but it's just bigger, and my thighs are very small. So I would be like a 16 in the waist and an 8 in the thigh and a 30 in the knee. And that when you're trying to do a fitted thing, it's never going to be fitted on my thigh. It's just not going to happen because my knee's so big. And even grading in and out, you can't do that much without being super weird. So yeah, that was rather eye-opening. But straight legs are really good for me because it kind of evens all that out. I look like somebody with rickets sometimes when I'm standing. I look, my knees are so big. Joey's making lander pants. Whoop. Sorry, I hit it thinking I was getting the last thing, and I got Ivy instead. But Joey said, well, here, I'll put Joey's up too. Joey is making Lander pants snug on top. High waist, gonna try the top down center outfit. Yep. Yeah, they would. Um, the other thing is, getting that waistband to fit in the top down center out. Um, Sometimes it's kind of hard to know where the designer intended the waistband to fall to. So there's a lot of variables with that. Um, Something new is always different, I think, is all it is. Gail, uh, top down, center out, or TDCO stands for top down, center out. And it's a lady named Ruth Collins developed this method for fitting pants. And she had an article in Threads magazine this past month, I think, or the fall issue. Was it the fall issue or the summer issue? I can't remember. But anyway, she has an article explaining this method where you get a waistband that fits, and then you sew the inseam on just one half of your pants, and then you put them on and fit them all the way down on the sides. You purposefully leave a larger seam allowance, and I guess it really, for people who've done it, they swear by it. So I don't know. I'm in the middle of doing it, and with my Nolan pants from Seamwork. I think I'm tending to like the old way, but um, I think it worked for some people, for sure. Yes, Diana, you are right. Testing makes her try more styles that she wouldn't otherwise. Agreed. Sometimes, you tend to want to make what you have worn before, um, because it's so. Excuse me. It's tried and true, but sometimes it's nice to reach out. There are a lot of things I made that I wouldn't have otherwise. I would have never made the Whistler top. Just didn't appeal to me. But then after I made it, it's so cute. I mean, people literally go, "Oh, what is that top? It's so cute." It's just the way the pockets are and everything. I just didn't appreciate it as much as I do. So you heard the answer. Okay, good, good, Gail. It would have been a long thing for Joey to type out, so I just jumped in and answered it. Yeah, so that's my little thing I wanted to share with you guys today, to make it, try to make it valuable for you guys to tune in, and then, time for questions too, but definitely want to make it valuable for people on the replay, so it's just not a bunch of chit chats and stuff, which is wonderful. I love the chit chats, but when we start having guests, I'm probably going to, because that's going to be more like they're going to share and ask that person questions. Probably we'll start having some chats on Facebook or something, because I don't want to lose this community that we've kind of built up here, and you guys are very important to me. So. Okay, Joey wanted to know, as a tester, how long do you have to get... Oh, sorry, Gail. You're welcome. As a tester, how long do you have to get fabric? It depends on the designer, but usually you have to turn it around pretty quick. So if you have to order something, it probably won't come in time. But if you have something on hand that you can use, usually you have a fit version and a final version. So if you have the fit version, you can use any old thing that meets the stretch requirements and the weight and stretch requirements. And then, so I mean, in some cases you can use a bed sheet. It just depends on what the pattern is. I tend to buy knits at Walmart for testing. And what's really funny is sometimes those end up being my favorite garments. So, but when I see fabric that's maybe not the best quality, but is pretty cheap, I will go ahead and get that for testing purposes. Yes, we could Zoom it. That would be fun. That would be. Let's see, Dot says, any recommendations for becoming a tester? I've applied a couple times for Love Notions, but never got accepted. Yeah, that's exactly right. It's because they have that size. Don't ever take it personally if you don't get accepted for a test. It happens even when you're an ambassador, because there might be more people in that size that already responded quicker. So, I mean, I've already not been accepted even as an ambassador. So it's just doesn't have any reflection on your sewing um, or anything like that. It's just whether or not they need that size. Um, I'd say just be persistent. Um, I've applied places and then had them come back and say, hey, you applied before. We really need somebody this time in your size. So that works too. And the other thing is stay active in the Facebook groups because that's the first thing. They're going to look at your makes that you've had before and your name will be familiar, so that's another way. And hopefully that answered your question. But that's what I would do. Just keep trying. Um, Love Notions doesn't usually go outside of their usual testing pool too often. So when they do, jump on it. Um, some of the designers, when I tested for Ellie and Mac, I don't anymore, but when I did, I would, when I started with them, I just emailed and said, I'd really like to test for your company, and so she added me to their pool. Not a certain test right then or anything, but so that way the next testing call I was able to apply. And I don't think I even got accepted for that until a couple in. But yeah, just be on Instagram. A lot of the designers will post on Instagram that they need a few more testers. And if you happen to be in that size, you can do that. So just a little, we just got to be persistent, I think. Zoom or FaceTime. We could do that. My The only problem is FaceTime, you have to have an Apple device, so that would rule out people who don't have an iPhone or Mac or whatever. So we don't want to do that. And Zoom, I'm not sure if that works for this number of people. Um, we'll just see. But if you're talking about a small group for fun, that's fine. You can Zoom or FaceTime. But if you're talking about, our inclusive chat of everybody, we probably need to do it on one of the platforms. I know I have the same feelings about those companies as you do, but um, fortunately or unfortunately, they have the technology to handle a big group of people, and they're outside of those big tech companies. It's hard to do it. So, because we have now in our Facebook group, we have over 2K, 2.1K the last time I looked. So that's a lot of people if everybody decided to join us. And I hope they do. I want people to join us. So I don't ever want to pigeonhole us into something that other people can't join. Now you can have your own little group and you can invite me because I would come. So just my thoughts on that, I guess. Um, I don't know what you guys are sewing this week. What are you sewing up? I'm doing, well, I can't tell you what I was doing this week up until now. Um, you'll just have to tune in on the Love Notions channel on Friday and find out. I filmed the Feature Friday video for Love Notions this week. So be sure and tune in to that. I think you'll like it. And You're awake when I'm sleeping. Um, so tune into the Love Notions YouTube channel on Friday, and you'll like it. You'll like the feature Friday, and you'll like the video too, I think. So just a heads up, I can't tell you what it is. And let's see. What else am I doing? Working on the top down center out. I'm testing too, so like I keep going back and forth between different. I've always got like 3 projects going. Also, a friend just had a baby, and I want to make him a little layette. So I've got a lot of sewing to do right now, but it's okay. Um, so yeah, I think it's good to be busy, and it's good to kind of finally be getting into a routine, and lots of things figured out, and all of that. So what are you guys sewing this week? Oh, ooh, the Bud Shacket. Yes, those are cool. A sew-in. That would be fun. Definitely. Kathy Ann's making pot holders and trivets for Christmas gifts. Cool. 8 composed robes. Oh, that's great. Now, see, I made those. I made 6 of them. Actually, 7. I made 7 composed robes. Like, not this past year, but the year before, right when it first came out. I made for all 6 grandkids and then one for my mother-in-law. So I made 7 of them, but I didn't do 8. So you beat me. And you guys are so prolific too. It amazes me how much you guys get done. Mary Alice isn't on Facebook anymore. Yeah, I mean you could get unlimited and just not, don't put anything public except in, certain groups or whatever. I get it. If it weren't for being a kind of a business person with what I do here, I probably wouldn't either. So I understand. Ooh, Deborah's making the Rhapsody and Jaylee city coat. I don't know if I've seen the city coat. I have to look that up. Oh, and Sandra is finishing up the project Dress a Girl. Oh, that's so great. We should do that again, actually. We should do the charity thing, the Sew for Good. Remember we did that, was it last year? I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. Guess we've been doing this a while now. I'm at about 3.5 years with this channel now, and something exciting. So I'm less than 500 away from 20,000 subscribers. So when I do get there, we're going to celebrate in some way. So I was going to celebrate when I got to, was it 15? And then my life was falling apart. But now I'm close to 20. So I don't know how we'll celebrate, but we will. Oh no, your iron just died. Aw. That's hard. Yep. Time to go shopping. Watch my review on the Rowenta Perfect Steam Pro. I love that so much. Yes, it does. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, I hate it because it keeps turning off." But what's the alternative? The alternative is you could burn your house down if you forget. So I personally like the fact that it shuts off. And honestly, unless you walk away for a couple hours, it comes back on pretty quick. I mean, it doesn't have to heat from scratch again. So it only takes really probably 45 seconds or something to get back up to there. So yeah, thank you guys. I'm excited about it. I had a goal to get there by the end of the year, and then I thought there's no way that's going to happen because of everything that happened to me with my husband dying and everything. And you know what's crazy? And this can only be contributed to God and also the sewing community, of which you guys are a huge part of it for me. Um, that my channel grew when I wasn't hardly doing anything. That doesn't happen, you guys. It just doesn't usually happen. So usually YouTube channels have to be babysat and nurtured like every other couple days to grow. So I can only attribute that to God and using you guys. So so many of you were so faithful to me, and I love you all so much for that. Hello, hi Carol, good to see you. So what are you sewing this week? Is anyone starting, other than Kathy Ann, has anyone started Christmas yet? I think I'm going to pretty soon. Um, I need to stay really busy this Christmas. Uh, I'm not going to overthink it. I don't want to push my feelings under so deep that I don't deal with things, but I'm going to try to just stay busy and appreciate my family. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. New to sewing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay real busy during Christmas. Remember what I did there? Not last year, but the year before, when I did the Christmas Christmas crunch, and we did 10 days of, or was it 12 days? 12 days of sewing, and I did a new project you could do every day, kind of like the vlogmas that people were doing. Only I don't like that word because I don't think anything should ever replace Christ in Christmas. So that's just a weird thing that I mean, it's not weird, but it's something that I don't like. So, so yeah, that it was kind of like that, but I wouldn't call it that. But I had a different project because if I want to do something like that, it's going to be worth your time. I'm not just gonna, you know, waste your time on something that, like, just to watch me babble. It's just right by what you're doing right now, but yes, Sinclair Sinclair Cardigan is free. Another great free pattern for this one sounds like that could be a good video. Free patterns for Christmas gifts. Would that be a great video? I think I might do that. But another great one is the Grow With Me jammies from uh, Ellie Mac. They are really nice, and they have these big cuffs that can be let down as they grow. And I gave them to my nephew and niece-in-law for their little boy, and they really liked them because you could just keep folding them down until he wore them a couple years. So it's really nice anytime you can give people an option so that the child can grow with it. The Harper cardigan is free. Made one of those last year for sure. I like that pattern a lot. Um, I like the duster length. I plan to do something with that this year. 3 videos. Okay. I might have to take 3 videos. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe a series. That's a great idea. Free patterns for Christmas gifts, because we're all trying to save money right now, right? Okay. That should be a good video. I'll work on that. Not hauling, babbling. Okay. Oh, yes, the Grow With Me jammies are very cool. The the Harper Cardi is one of my favorites. They're all really nice. I love the boyfriend cardigan because it has that little sort of shawl collar on it, which is really fun. Give it something different. I like the canyon because of the waistline. I like the blackwood, but it's really similar to the Harper. And between the Harper and the blackwood, I actually like the Harper more, because the Blackwood cardigan by Helen's Closet, which was my first cardigan I ever did, and I loved it, but it doesn't come all the way across. So if you're wearing it for warmth, you have to size up because you can't wrap it in front of you at all. So it has too much of a gap right here. So the Harper actually is generous. So I like the Harper better than the Blackwood. Just for fit reasons, I guess. Sewing through the stash. I am. Let's see. I took 4 pieces out of there this week, but I can't tell you why. You're just going to have to wait and find out. All right, let's see. Well, one of them was for the genes testing, but the rest of them, you're going to have to wait. Let's see. Fall is in the air for sure. And yeah, it's time. It's time to turn on the Hallmark Christmas movies and sew away. I like to start early because I get really, bent out of shape if I'm not done, on time. And I never have been, so this will be a first if I am. Okay, no problem. It's hard when you're at work. Where are you new to sewing? It's still above 80 because it certainly isn't here. Thank you, Ivy. I think it is too. And I'm lining up guests for our podcast. You're going to really like the first one. And yeah, got some ideas here, so that's good. And I think it's going to be really good. I'm going to a seminar tomorrow and Friday on podcasting. So hopefully I'll learn a lot about interviewing people and organizing a podcast, where to submit it and all those things, because it is going to be kind of a video cast, they call them when there's video. So it'll be a video cast, and they'll still take the audio because those kind of interview type things are beneficial even if you don't see. Yep, me too, Chris. I do too. Yeah, I always say motherhood assumes guilt. Grand Jan just said, I wish I could sew all the time, but guilt about housework and errands always gets in the way. Very true. Very, very true. I think you have to start looking at it as a priority. Not that I want it to feel like a job, but I try to look at it that way because I'm saving a ton of money for, and if we have to go out and buy those things for Christmas, it's going to cost us a lot more. And yeah. See, I just said we. Me. I have to go out and buy those. Let's see. So that's what I'm doing this week. So I will be in my sewing room probably all day tomorrow and Friday, and this weekend probably a lot as well. Got a lot to get done. It's therapy. That's true. It is therapy. Ah, very good. Thank you, Nancy, for that. Which ones do you like? Which sewing podcasts do you like? Let me know so I can kind of maybe check them out.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
My watch just talked to me. I didn't get that. Could you try again? She said, I don't know. I never said Siri or anything. Are Karina and I going to do something together? I don't know. I should ask her. I'm not sure if she wants to go live, but I would love for her to. I would even be okay with pre-recording if she wanted to do that. So maybe. That'd be fun. We've done collaborations before. It's always been really good and fun. I've done them with her. I've done them with Whitney. I've done them with So Natural Dane. Um, and yeah, the collaborations are really fun. No guilt. That's right. No guilt. Not allowed. Something you have to have something you do for yourself, you know. So that's what we do. We sew. Alrighty, well, it's getting close to 5, and I'm probably gonna head out in a few minutes here. But does anybody have more questions? Any questions about ease? I think I had the senior sewing staff here today that really didn't need that information, maybe, but I think that there's people out there who will watch it later that will benefit from it. Seamwork has a good, yes, they do have a good podcast. I like theirs. And then I think that Helen's Closet, she does with another girl. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah. Yep. So it's going to kind of be like a podcast, but it'll be video. Oh, the Love to Sew. Yeah, that's the one with Helen's Closet in it, I think. Helen from Helen's Closet. And then there's another girl. I don't know her name. So, yeah, very good. All right, ladies. Well, I'm going to head out and get ready for church tonight. I've got my grief share group tonight, so that's what I do on Wednesday nights after this. So, yeah, no guilt. And I will see you soon, right? So definitely keep your feelers out for the Love Notions Feature Friday video. It's a good one this week. You'll like it. It might be something you already have, but you'll find something new and interesting to do with it. Good. Helen and Yep, that's right. Helen and Caroline. They're the hosts of that one. Yeah, and they have a lot of good guests too. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of guests I can get on this one. I think it'll grow, and I'm looking forward to that. So, well, all right, you guys have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon. And yeah, take care. Happy sewing, guys.